Good morning, everyone. My name is Tairu Wada, and you are welcome to Learning and Earning series with Tairu Boost IQ. Subscribe to this channel for more tutorials like this. Welcome to Learning and Earning series with Tairu Boost IQ, Part 3, Series 3, Part 1 on the topic Quadratic Equation. Solving quadratic equation using factorization method. Example, solve the following. Solve s squared plus 5s plus 6 equals to 0 using factorization method, and solve 3s squared plus 6s plus 3 equals to 0 using factorization method. Case 1. Solve s squared plus 5s plus 6 equals to 0 using factorization method. Solution. S squared is our first term, 5s is our second term, and 6 is our third term, which is equals to 0. Step 1. Test the discriminant quadratic expression b squared minus 4ac, whether it's 0 or a perfect square, so that we can know whether we have to factorize or to use the other method. Our s squared plus 5s plus 6 is equals to 0. Comparing with the general formula for quadratic equation, the general formula for the general equation of what quadratic equation, which is a squared plus bs plus c equals to 0. The coefficient of x squared is a, so therefore the coefficient of x squared is 1. We're having an invisible 1 here. That's why our a is equals to 1. Here now our b is equals to 5 and our c is equals to 6. Then we put the value of a equals to 1, b equals to 5, c equals to 6 into what b squared minus 4ac squared minus 4ac, which we call it the discriminant quadratic expression. Then 5 squared will give us 25. Then we have what 4 times 1 is 4 and 4 times 6 is 24. 25 minus 24 is equals to 1. And 1 is a perfect square because square root of 1 is equals to 1. Then we now move to what? Step 2. Multiply the first term by the last term. What is the first term and the last term? The first term here is s squared and the last term here is 6. So we are going to say what s squared times 6 will give us what 6s squared. And that is why we have what s squared times 6 will give us plus 6s squared. Then we now find the sum of plus 5x, which is the second term, and product of what 6s squared, which we obtain it from what s squared times 6 will give us what 6s squared. What is another way of writing what 5x? We can write 5x as 5 plus 0x. Then 5x times 0s is 0. We can write 5s as what 4s plus 1, because 4s plus 1s is what 5s. But 4s times 1 is still what 4s squared. We can write 5 as 3s plus 2s, and 3s plus 2s is equals to 5s, and 3s times 2s will give us 6s, which is correct. The aim is for us to look for two numbers that we can add or subtract that will give us 5x, and when we multiply them, that will give us 6s squared. And those numbers are 2s plus 2, 3s plus 2s, and 6s squared. So we are moving to the next step, which is step 3. We are going to replace plus 5s with 3s plus 2s in a given equation, which is what the equation to solve, s squared plus 5s plus 6 equals to 0. Now instead of writing 5s here, we are going to write s squared plus 3s plus 2s plus 6 equals to 0. Then we close our bracket by having s squared plus 3s plus 2s plus 6s equals to 0. When we look, what did they have in common? Both of them have ss. We now factor s out from what s squared plus 3s, and factor 2 out from what 2s plus 6, because the highest number that can divide 2 and 6 is 2. So at this point, when we factor the s out, we are left with what x, because there are 2x here. We have factor 1 out. We now have s open bracket s plus 3. We have removed 1s from the 3. Now here we have removed 2 from s. We now have 2s. How do we get this plus 3? We see what plus 6 divided by plus 2. Plus 6 divided by plus 2. So we are going to say 6 divided by 2 give us 3. Then it's equals to 0. So we are going to pick s plus 2 and what s plus 3 and equate it to be 0. So we now have s plus 2 and what s plus 3 equals to 0. So s plus 2 is equals to 0, or s plus 3 equals to 0. So whenever a positive number cross equal sign to change to negative, and our s now is 0 minus 2, s is equals to minus 2, or s is equals to 0 minus 3, s is equals to minus 3. This is how to solve a quadratic equation using factorization method whenever you encounter question of this format. Case 2. Solve 3s squared plus 6s plus 3 equals to 0 using factorization method. Solution. we see what? 3s squared plus 6s plus 3 is equals to 0. Our first term is 3s squared. Our second term is 6s. Our third term is 3. Then, step 1. Test the dictionary quadratic expression bx squared minus 4ac whether it's 0 or a perfect square. The reason is because to know whether we have to factorize or not. 3s squared plus 6s plus 3 is equals to 0. Compare with what? The quadratic equation format. You can see that our a is equals to 3, and our b is equals to 6, and our c is equals to 3. Put the value of a equals to 3, b equals to 6, and c equals to 3 into b squared minus 4ac. Then b is 6. 6 squared will give us 36. And 4 times 3 is 12. And 12 times 3 is 36. 36 minus 36 is 0. Since our b squared minus 4ac is equals to 0, it can be what? Factorized. Then we'll now move to the last what? Equation, which is what? Multiplying the first term and the last term. What is the first term here? The first term here is what? 3s squared, and the last term here is 3. So when we multiply them, we are going to have a 9s squared. So that is why we say 3s squared times 3 will give us what? 9s squared. And this one is the second term. And what is another way of writing 6s? You always start with 0. 6s plus 0 will give us 6s. But 6s times 0s is 0. We can write 6 as what? 5s plus 1s is 5, is 6. But 5s times 1s will give us what? Plus 5s squared. And we are looking for a number that will give us what? Plus 9s squared. You can write 6 as what? 4s plus 2s, which will give us what? Plus 6s. And what? 4s plus 4s times 2s will give us 8s squared. Then we can write 6 as what? 3s plus 3s, which is 6. And 3s times 3 is 9. Now we have gotten the what? The number that we can add that will give you two numbers that will add that will give us 6s. And when we times them, that will give us what? 9s squared. We now move towards step 3, which means replace plus 6s with 3s plus 3s in the given equation. And the equation is what? 3s squared plus 6s plus 3 equals to 0. In place of this 6 now, we are going to put what? 3s plus 3s. So we now have 3s squared plus 3s plus 3s plus 3 is equals to 0. Then we close our bracket by having 3s squared plus 3s plus 3s plus 3 equals to 0. When we check what did they have in common, both of them is having 3s. We factor 3s out from 3s squared plus 3s. And we are factoring what? 3 out because both of them are having 3 from what? 3s plus 3. Then we now have 3s open bracket s plus 1 plus what? 3s plus 1. Now, when we factor 3 out, we are left with s. When we remove the whole of 3s, we are left with 1. Here now, when we remove 3 from here, we are left with s. How do we get this one? We say what? Plus 3 divided by plus 3. Plus 3 divided by plus 3 is 1. So we are going to pick 3s plus 3, and we pick s plus 1 and s plus 1 from this other side and equate them to be 0. 3s plus 3 now will give us what? Equals to 0, or s plus 1 is equals to what? 0. Now when plus cross equals sign to change to negative, we now have 3s equals to what? 0 minus 3, which will give us 3s equals to minus 3. But this point, when the plus cross equals sign to change to minus, s is equals to what? 0 minus 1, it means that s is equals to minus 1. We are not done with this one first. We have to divide both sides by 3. Divide both sides by 3, we now have 3s all over 3 is equals to minus 3 over 3. Our s is equals to what? Minus 1, or s is equals to what? Minus 1. So in this case, whenever you have what? A discrete quadratic equation to be equals to 0, you are going to have what? Two what? Identical what? Answers. Alright? And we see that when you know the number to replace, you don't need to test the quadratic expression. You can go straight to step 3 immediately. Okay? Thank you. This is how to solve quadratic equation using factorization method.